Newcomers, finding home in a land of barriers. This land holds many stories of the first people and of those still arriving, seeking safety, opportunity, and home. But for many newcomers, the dream of a better life is met with barriers, racism, exclusion, and the struggle to belong. We listen to those who have walked this path, who have faced discrimination, yet found the strength in their journey. Their stories remind us that healing is not just about one community, it's about all of us. Standing together, creating a future where no one is treated as an outsider.
Hi everyone, my name is Nife, and I work as an anti-racism coordinator at AIWCC. The path that led me to that point would actually be first immigrating to Canada. Before getting here, I hadn't really experienced any kind of racism because in Nigeria, everyone is Black. So to come here, I had to come to terms with that. And with that comes like, some of the bullying, the teasing, that really made it very difficult. One of the things that I didn't know was weird until I got here was one of my home foods, my cultural foods. And when I first got here, my parents would send me to school with all the cultural foods, and the kids would bully me so much about it that I ended up not eating at school. And I would come home, but my mom would be upset because it was wasting money that we didn't have a lot of when we first got here. And it came off as ungrateful, but it was my way of dealing with the bullying. So I would get punished at home and punished at school because of that experience. I started learning how to just throw my food in the garbage whenever I got home, so my parents wouldn't get as upset with me. But those kinds of experiences aren't things that are translated for you when you first get to the country. Like, you understand racism as an abstract concept, but how it can show up at school, at work, in the medical office, any kind of institution is not easily accessible, especially when you're an immigrant. So my job at AIWCC is to make that information accessible, as well as the coping skills accessible. So the way that I coped with experiencing a lot of that when I was younger, and that was more the PG stuff, I guess, was to create a lot of workshops and information that targeted immigrants and newcomers and tell them this is how racism can show up in school. This is how it can affect your child. This is what you can do. These are your resources that are available. So that's one way that I cope with it. And it's not all doom and gloom. A lot of the times we do activities in addition to learning about racism. We do crochet and chat. So we'll talk about culture and we'll talk about everything while doing a little crochet, having a high tea with everyone and having those kinds of discussions. My focus tends to be on creating community spaces because that's when people really listen to each other, hear from each other, and work towards a better future. When we're all able to have conversations across the aisle and share food and share knowledge, I find that those are the strongest ways to cope with racism, and the strongest anti-racism workshop. Nothing is going to be stronger than you meeting someone who you expect to be different than you, and they're more similar to you than you are different. So my focus is on creating spaces like that, as well as still providing that information. It's kind of the same advice that I give to a lot of people who come to my workshops, is to still maintain that connection with your culture, still bring your food. It's delicious. Why should you have to change? It's other people, maybe even bring extra for the kids in your class and say try it. If they don't like it, if they don't like it, that's besides the point. Is you're inviting someone to share in a cultural experience with you. And then point out how what they're doing is not cool, is kind of bullying. Ask them why they're doing that, and is it really all that funny? And the third one, no one likes this one, you could tell your teachers and have them support you in some kind of way. That could help you move forward. But one thing that I wouldn't suggest, which is what I did when I was younger, was internalizing that and just making yourself feel really awful for the way you are naturally, then trying to force yourself to assimilate to mainstream culture. No, you're eventually going to find your way back to your culture and your roots and the things that make you happy. That it's better not to do the whole 10-year fight that I did with myself, and just embrace that as much as you can, because not only will your older self be thankful, but maybe your family, your friends, any children, if you choose to have some, will be thankful too, to be able to share in that culture with you because you haven't separated from it.
Creating a society stands with us, lifting voices, building trust. Together we rise, our hearts hearts complete. So hear the drum, feel the beat. The circle turns, the healing grows. Through us all, the spirit flows. They try to break us, try to bend, took our voices to the wind, but the spirit's got us still. Through the mountains, through the hills, we rise up singing strong and free, creating hope society walks with me.